Fascinating facts, please like and subscribe. Sewing machine. The stitches made by a sewing machine are formed by two threads which are interlocked. In the vibrating shuttle machine, the upper thread is carried by the needle while the under thread is unreeled from the bobbin. The descending needle penetrates the fabric and carries the thread along. When the needle rises again, the thread forms a loop on the underside of the fabric. The shuttle, which contains the bobbin of the underthread, goes through this loop and pulls the underthread along behind it. The shuttle thread is thus enclosed in the loop of the needle thread. The fabric is then moved forward. While this is happening, the needle remains stationary and the shuttle returns to its initial position. This causes the slack loop to be pulled tight and close up, so that the two threads interlock in the middle of the fabric. When the forward movement of the fabric has ceased, the operation is repeated. This method produces the lock stitch, which forms a strong but rather rigid seam with no give in it. A chain stitch sewing machine produces seams having greater resilience. This machine works with only one thread, which is linked at the underside of the fabric by means of a gripper hook. A variant of this stitch is the overcasting stitch, which enwraps the edge of the material. In modern domestic sewing machines, the so-called rotary hook is frequently employed. This type of machine functions as follows. The needle descends through the fabric and the point of the hook advances to meet the needle. The return movement forms the loop and the point of the hook enters it. The hook enlarges the loop, the front of which is held in a recess in the bobbin case, while the hook pulls away the other side of the upper thread loop over the bobbin case. The loop slips off the point of the hook, while the thread take-up lever pulls the excess thread up again. During the unwinding of the thread, the side of the loop that was held in the recess is released and the loop is pulled tight. The present-day domestic sewing machine is usually driven by an electric motor through a chain drive. The rotary motion is transmitted through the top shaft to the crank drive for the thread take-up lever. In addition, the bottom shaft, rotary hook drive shaft, is driven by a chain from on the top shaft. An eccentric cam mounted on the top shaft actuates eccentric rods and thus drives the feed mechanism under the base plate, whereby the fabric is moved forward. The length of the stitch can be adjusted by means of the stitch regulator. The stitch is made longer or shorter by varying the eccentric stroke, and thus varying the amount of rotation that the feed motion shaft undergoes at each stroke. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe.